good morning, and welcome to my Monday messages. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Rebecca. I'm a homeopath, I'm a QTT coach practitioner, and an all-round natural health advocate. And today, first of all, I just want to say, oh my God, the weather, it's just fantastic. I hope it is where you are, but here in Ireland, it's just beautiful. And it's brought to mind one of my top values, which is to feel that I have the freedom to choose what I do in everything, actually. But at the moment, it's about freedom to choose what I do day to day, freedom to choose what I put in and on my body, freedom to enjoy whatever it is that I want to enjoy. And so it's put me in mind of values generally. And also that is partly because here in Ireland, we're in the middle of elections, and there's a steady stream of canvassers coming to the door who want to engage you in, well, actually, mostly they don't want to engage you in conversation. They just want to know, are you going to vote for them? And it depends on whether I've got time or not. But if I have, then I like to just ask them a few really key questions to establish whether they are somebody that I think could be an advocate for me, could represent my views and my values in an accurate and meaningful way. And my experience to date is mostly that they are not going to be able to do that. And I want to add, by the way, that there's no judgment necessarily attached to that. It's just merely to establish, is this person on the same page as me or not? And if they're not on the same page, then they can't possibly represent my views or advocate for me. So I thought that I would share this for those of you who are maybe a little bit weary of the doorstop conversations and getting embroiled in kind of fruitless discussions about party policies or all the things I've done or my party's done up until now, and kind of broad brushstroke intentions and actions, because they are actually meaningless unless we understand the driver behind them. And an action in itself might not tell you what is driving somebody. Sometimes it does, but it's more helpful, I think, to understand, first of all, what your own values are in any situation. So if you think about something that you feel particularly passionate about at the moment, an issue that you would like to see put on the table or actioned in some way, then rather than debating about what that action should or shouldn't be, it's more fruitful to think about, well, what are my values around this issue? What are the non-negotiables? What are the things that come what may, no matter what the actions are, these are the things that I stand for, that I uphold, and I want someone to uphold on my behalf, because actually all the rest will follow. And if those values and beliefs, but this is not the place to discuss beliefs, if they're not aligned, then nobody can represent you accurately. So I find it helpful to actually pick maybe my top issue or my top 3 issues and think about, okay, what are my values around those? What are my non-negotiables? Where are my boundaries around those? And ask questions that elicit some kind of impression of what this person thinks or values around this issue. But actually, even drilling down further than that, you could think about, well, all of these things are actually contributing to a wider society, to a kind of community that we want to live in or don't want to live in. And it might be less contentious to actually ask what your values are around the kind of society that you would like to be part of, that you would like to help create or sustain. And if you can work out what your top values are for that society, then you can ask your canvasser, your supposed representative, the person who is asking for your vote, what are his or her top values around the society that they want to help create and be part of. And of course, we have hundreds of values around those. But just see if you can pick out your top, let's say 5 or 6, and ask yourself what the priority list is. What are the, if you really had to choose, what's your top value? What's the one thing that you actually will not let go of and that is of primary importance to you? That could be anything. It could be freedom, which is one of mine, freedom to choose, and health autonomy, bodily autonomy. It could be around support for the elderly. It could be around support for people with addictions, or even just actually people who are less capable, who are struggling, who are more vulnerable than the majority of us. Because we can tell our society, can't we, by how we treat the more vulnerable amongst us. So asking key questions about what this person's views are, but actually not their views, their values around that can cut through everything and will tell you very quickly, are their values aligned with my values? If they're not the person for you, and you shouldn't be voting for them. And again, I'm going to stress that doesn't mean that your values are right and theirs are wrong. They're just different. They're different values. And we all value different things, or we might have similar values, but they're in a slightly different order. And if that is the case, actually, then at least you've got the values on the same page, and you're almost there, kind of thing. But if somebody's values are completely misaligned with yours, then that's not the person for you. And that is the same in any kind of relationship. More conflict happens because of a misalignment of values than anything else. And just actually putting some time in to understand what your own values are can pay dividends. And it can also mean that you spend a lot less time having fruitless debates on your doorstep with political candidates. So just thought I'd share that quickly today, and just questions to ask yourself. What are my non-negotiables around the society that I want to live in? And can I choose maybe my top 3? And can I ask somebody who's purporting to represent me, what are your top values around the society you want to live in, or this issue that I feel passionately about? And let's see if we're a match or a mismatch. That's it. Enjoy the beautiful weather, and have a look at your values around how you enjoy your life, and see if maybe some of those need shifting so that you can get out there and enjoy as much of this sunshine as possible. Okay, wishing you a beautiful week, and thank you very much for listening. Bye.